I am Jim Shearer. I'm a Regents professor of music here at New Mexico State University. I teach in the graduate program. I teach music appreciation to non-majors, and I do music history teaching for undergraduates as well. I grew up in a very musical household. My father was a very talented musician. We owned a newspaper business, but on the side, he was always playing music. He played through high school and college, and he worked in a lot of, sort of amateur, but amateur professional bands. He was playing gigs every weekend. He also led the music at our church, so we were in church every Sunday doing music as well. So I was really lucky from the earliest days to have music in the household, and it was Duke Ellington, Ellington Indigos, it was Ray Charles. Ray Charles is an artist that is just, well, he's Ray Charles, man. He crosses every musical boundary. He is jazz, he is blues, he is rhythm and blues, he is black gospel music, he is country music. And he blends it all together. It's just Ray Charles. There's a concept in music called the Mozart effect, and it's been kind of turned into this marketing term. And a lot of people think it's, if you play Mozart for your child while it's still in the womb or while it's a year and a half old, it'll be smart. And it's really not true. It's not bad. Great, play Mozart for your child, but it's the act of learning to play music. When we bring them to the symphony, we like to do things that introduce the entire orchestra. So there are works, Peter and the Wolf is great by Prokofiev, Benjamin Britten, The Young Person Guides to the Orchestra. There's a new orchestral version of some Lemony Snicket tales that introduce students to each part of the orchestra. And so some people are naturally drawn to individual instruments. For a long time, it was the saxophone. First it was Kenny G. They all heard Kenny G on the radio and they wanted to play saxophone. And then we had students showing up and they said, "Oh, you like Kenny G?" I said, "No, who's Kenny G? I saw Lisa Simpson." And it was The Simpsons. They were seeing Lisa Simpson on this cartoon playing saxophone, so they wanted to play saxophone. Then the movie Drumline came out and everybody wanted to play the drums, So they are influenced by what they see as well. One of the interesting things I see in symphony concerts these days, and I think this is some of the smartest symphony programming you can do, is and a lot of video games these days have incredible soundtracks, and they're actually interactive. The music becomes part of the video game. And smart symphonies are getting this music, and they're doing live performances of the music while projecting scenes from the video game in the background. But if they're really smart, and I've seen a few do this, San Francisco's done this and a few others, they'll play that soundtrack, and then they back it up with Berlioz' Symphonie Fantastique. And, in the fourth movement, the dude gets his head chopped off and it falls in a basket. In the fifth movement, he wakes up and he's still alive. And it turns out his girlfriend's a witch and she dukes it out with God. Now, that's pretty cool stuff. And once you get them there, they get that. But you got to get them there first. The group I play most with is the El Paso Brass. And that group has been together for over 40 years now. I joined it almost 20 years ago. And they are my family. They are my brothers. Well, they're mostly my brothers and one grouchy old uncle. But you know what I mean? They're really, I'm closer to them to anyone. One of the things that we all do in most of our local band programs, and orchestra programs too, is we try and provide instruments for students who really need them. If you come to a program and you have need, one way or another, that director's going to figure out a way to make it work. We'll find you a horn. We'll find you an instrument. We'll find something that will work for you. The thing that makes NMSU really special as a music school is we're big enough to do everything. We have a great choir, we have a great band, we have a great orchestra, we have chamber music, we have all this different stuff. Our biggest public thing, of course, is the marching band. Pride Marching Band is one of the most visible things we have on this campus. We, of course, play at all the football games. We have Roadrunner Review, which is a permutation of that, and they play at all the basketball games. You see them marching in parades for Veterans Day, for 4th of July, for homecoming, for, all these special events. One of the coolest things about music, and this is true on so many different levels, you can learn to play music at any time. You can learn music as a beginner in middle school and high school, and you can put that horn in the case and you can come back to it 30, 40 years later, and you know what? It really is just like riding a bicycle. It comes back to you. We have programs that are community bands, community choirs, community orchestras. Those are all over the country. And people take part at many different levels, from true beginners to really talented amateurs to people who are making money, who are working professionally on the side, or end up making it their second career.